And to give a little backstory at what happens just before the time in this game is you have this guy who we'll call Max, who who is an evil sorcerer, and basically he decided he wanted to conquer all the realms that connects to the Nexus, that connects to Lands, and he wanted to control them. But most people don't have any kind of magic abilities. So what he did is, because Enchanted Lands runs on this mineral that sort of gives everything its magic. Like if you have it on you, you can do some magic, or if certain conveniences like lights and two-way magic mirrors and all that stuff. This mineral, which is nicknamed Quicksilver, just for lack of a better name, because I kind of suck at naming things right now. But he tried to imbue normal people with magical abilities by infusing them with Quicksilver. And he almost would have made it, and except that Harold, the name of the wizard, this was before Harry Potter, so I might change the name. I might have to change the name because it sounds kind of dumb when I say it. But so basically, he manages to thwart Max, and they manage to banish him. And so then the Enchanted Lands is profitable again. Everything's happy. Everything's good. And then things start kind of going wrong. The king starts acting kind of strange. The schools start closing up. You can't be a knight. Fairy Godmother Academy won't let you out. Before you could go mine with the dwarves, and now they've closed up their mines, and it's really getting to be kind of a bad deal. So nobody can really have any fun in there. Most places are closed up except for a few hotels, a few places to eat, and stuff like that. So, and then also there's rumors of somebody coming back. Of course, that someone is Max, which I said before had tried to enslave people, the citizens of Enchanted Lands, to become an army for him. And so now Max has kind of decided he's going to cover all of his bases. Somehow he wrangled half of our main wizard, who shall remain nameless again, half of his magic, and did things like he rounds up werewolves to be part of his army, and there's just several things in there that I don't even remember what they are now. But the idea is he's covered all of his bases this time. He's actually put in a puppet king that's not the real king. The real king is captured, kidnapped, or whatever somewhere. So at this point, Enchanted Lands is in a pretty bad shape, worse than it was before, and so Harold has to enlist the help of someone outside of Enchanted Lands, and that happens to be someone from our world, who may or may not, because I haven't decided on the story yet, but may or may not have ties to Enchanted Land. He might be a long lost prince or something that actually belongs there. But right now he resides in Earth. He's a young man that resides on Earth, and his life's pretty boring. And then Harold kind of turns it upside down and brings him in, and then you have this big adventure. So, to actually get back to my story, and that is, right, trying to make ends meet, resort to tourism. now I could just copy from, like, on my old blog. I actually have some notes somewhere. I have no idea where they're at, but that actually explains everything, the characters and all that stuff. But I also have it on one of my blogs, and so I decided, since I am kind of rewriting it, that I'm just going to kind of do it here from scratch. So, trying to make ends meet, resort to tourism in order to be profitable. But Enchanted Lands is in a slump. The Knights Academy, let's do it this way: is all of the schools of the kingdom have been closed or like the Knights Academy isn't closed, but it's changed. I don't know. All the schools of the kingdom have been closed. Have either been closed or shut off from the general public. The Knights Academy has started training with real weapons. Before basically, you might want to go slay a dragon, and so you get these magic weapons, and you slay a magic dragon magically, and it all is supposed to be pretty safe, right? You're supposed to live out your adventure in Enchanted Lands. So now the Knights Academy has started training with real weapons, as actual dragons have been sighted. Okay. I guess I'll just leave it at that instead of actually typing out the full thing. Like before, it was just magic stuff and blah blah blah. I'll just leave it at that. Started training with real weapons as actual dragons have been sighted. The dwarf mines have been closed. In fact, they're not talking to anyone. Fairy God College has become a secret society, letting no one leave that has already joined, because you might want to be a fairy godmother or fairy godfather, right? The Fairy God College has become a secret society. Okay. A wizard. Okay. Wizard, you and Princess Prep have just been shut down. Okay. So now what we have is we have our main wizard. I might change his name from Harold now, because now it just sounds even more like Harry Potter and like pff. Okay, so the the king has been acting strangely and a new person has come in to help as the king's new advisor. Let's see, let's say it differently than that. And has fired his advisor, a famous wizard. I don't know what to name a wizard. What would a famous wizard name be? I mean, other than Merlin, which is actually, he's not Merlin. We have famous wizards in history like Merlin and in the Wizard of Oz, Oz the Great and Powerful. Okay, so we'll just call him Bernie, just because I think the name is funny. Okay. I don't know, maybe I won't use Bernie. Too political. Let's see. Trying to think of a name for our famous wizard, because in all of my previous versions the name's been Harold, and just the more I use it, the more I don't like to use it because of another famous wizard. I was even gonna at one point use that as a joke, you know, and like not say his last name and say it rhymes with, you know, Rotter or something, you know, but that might be a little too far and might sound really dumb. But let me think. Famous wizard Bob. Okay, let's just put that in temporarily. I'll have to figure something else out. The famous wizard Bob, who has strangely has fired his advisor, the famous wizard Bob, who has been instrumental in helping Enchanted Lands to turn a profit. We'll say that. Okay. So now Bob must find someone from outside the kingdom to help him with this matter. Especially now since half of his magic has been robbed. I don't know if I'll continue to use Notepad++. I might use something else, WordPad or something, I don't know. Because this just keeps on, it does this autocorrect thing, which is basically because of the programming, and I'm not programming here yet. Okay, so Bob and this new person must somehow figure out why everything is so wacky and hopefully return the lands back to the way they were. Okay, that's not exactly a synopsis of the actual game story, but that is the premise here, right? So now I need to, what do I need to do now? I need to create an outline of what happens.